Hey y'all, welcome to First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsey and Jackson.
And I am Aaron Jackson.
And we are the Jacksons. Okay. All right. So, season 6, episode 4.
Wow, 4. Okay.
Let's get started. Okay.
Yeah.
Love letters to our children. And this will be a fun episode. We're talking about friends. We're talking about friendship.
What about your friends? I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Never gonna let
Talk about
you
friendship.
down.
And so yesterday.
I was gonna say this.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we didn't talk about like how we were gonna lead into these questions in this talking point, but I literally was thinking about yesterday. Yesterday, our son's birthday, we got to celebrate him in a big way.
Yeah.
Because we have a rule, or we have a family pact.
Yeah, you guys aren't gonna see this till Tuesday, but
but the family pact is that from now on, we got 3 kids now. From now on, we will have a birthday party if your birthday lands on a Saturday. So if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, we're gonna celebrate, cake and ice cream in the house. But if it lands on a Saturday, we can have a party. Action Major Jackson's birthday landed on a Saturday. We threw a party and invited all of his friends from school, people we don't really know that well, and then friends that we knew previously. And so we got to see him in his element with his friends. And so topic of this episode, friends, first question of the episode, how do you choose your friends? Or, this is later, how do we still stay connected with our friends in this timeline, in this pivotal moment of having young children and living kind of away from some of our friends where we grew up? So we talking friends. What you got?
You want to take it first?
How do I choose our friends? Or which one?
Why you say our friends?
Our friends?
No.
Because this is a whole nother topic too. Like, your friends are my friends now. If they're just solely your friends, it's harder to get in and it's harder to penetrate inside of the family if they're just your friends. And I will say that as a fact, because sometimes your friends that are closer to you.
We don't have a just my friend.
Exactly. So that's why I say our friends. That's what we're going to go back to, our friends.
Okay.
Friends are, like, now my friends are your friends.
No. I think my friends are our friends. Your friends could be your friends.
Interesting.
But that's just me.
Now we're talking about the difference between coworker and friend, or acquaintance and friend. Because the people I call friends.
Your standard for friends is way lower than mine. So I will say that.
Lower or higher? Lower or higher? Higher. I have seasons. So this brings up a good point. Now I heard this and it spoke to me and it rang true. It was like
50
friends.
years ago.
No, I didn't. No, I'm not talking about the seasons. I'm talking about this quote, this thing about friends. If friends are on a tree, they can be roots, they can be branches, or they could be leaves. And so the leaves fall immediately. We talk in seasons. And that's what I know to be true. It's like the seasons, if I'm going through a rough patch, if, I'm super busy, it doesn't have to be something, it's just, they fall away. They just, and then maybe, so if I'm qualifying everybody to be friends, we've got the leaf friends. We got the leaves. Okay, so there they are. And then we have the branches. They can hold on a little bit, okay, but when there's real weight on them, like if I need you, if I'm calling you all the time, like, hey, I need you again this week. Can you pick up one of the babies? Can you come over? And they're just like, you know what? I can't no more. Like, we hadn't even been out drinking in a minute or whatever. Okay, they gone. And then they're the roots. And then the roots friends is what you're probably thinking about, where it's like, these are the people. These are people that's going, if I don't talk to him for a minute, we still cool. I don't know when's the last time I talked to Michael Moak, but I know he checks in on me, I check in on him, and I've known this man since kindergarten. Mike has been in my life for a minute, and that's the roots. And so those are the 3 pillars. But yes, in that, there are seasons. And so I was like, oh, I like that. I take that. Gotcha. That's what you said when I'm like, oh, I call everybody friends. They're in the moment, they're my friend.
Okay.
So what you got?
the question is like, how do I pick my friends?
How do you choose your friends, or how did you choose your friends? Because sometimes you all no new friends type of
Yeah.
situation, so you don't choose nobody anymore.
Yes, it's different for me. Most of my friends I've known for a while now, like years.
Yeah,
The
because I was
newest,
gonna say, what's your newest
yeah,
friend?
the newest friends, I would say, my newest friends have all came from work, which is an interesting thing. And I think the work has been like, if I'm at this job for like over a year. So the same thing about, I think in a past podcast or something, it's like you don't really know somebody unless you go through all 4 seasons with them, type of thing. So background, I was talking to my friend who my kids call Auntie Ebony today about how I grew up with people on the same street as me, and we all like we played in the street, we hung out together, we had to come home when street lights was on. Like that was like my core group, and then I had my siblings who are also my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like my sisters and my brother, they have been my first friends.
Yes.
Playing any type of game, board games, which I was really bad at, checkers, like playing basketball. So it was really cool having siblings. And like my brother's 4 years older than me. My sister is 1 year older than me. My other sister 5 years older than me. So and then my oldest is 10 years. But having all of them really helped. So like Action and Shine, your first friends, I wanted to be your siblings. And second friends
What
would
about
be
Liv?
Action Shine Live. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Action Shine Live. Yeah. And then the second ones would be cousins and God sisters and brothers. Like that's your first set, right? As you get older, like sometimes the God sisters and God brothers, when you get older, like, you can't really force that friendship. If you have a relationship, then cool. But like sometimes y'all just on two different paths. I understand that. But siblings, no matter what, I really want my children as adults to be friends. I think that would be
I think
cool.
I was ingrained with that as well growing up, and I also think though that you can't force that either. Because
No,
I
it's not
just
forcing it.
remember my mom being like, "Your siblings are your friends," and then case in point, I was like, "Oh, I have friends in my siblings. I don't need other friends." And then I grow up and I'm like, "Are my siblings my friends? Now I
Yeah,
want some. Now I want some other friends."
I got you. No, I don't think it was forced on us. It's just that
Exactly.
we did a lot of like, I looked up to my brother. I still kind of look up to my
Yes.
brother.
Yes.
We played a lot. Like we played all the time. It's interesting about childhoods and like what people's perspective of your childhood. I feel like I had a really good childhood. If I was on the couch, like I am talking to a counselor, they'll be like, "How was your childhood?" I'll be like, "Great.
Yeah.
I played. I had friends."
Yeah.
So at 37, how am I choosing my friends? The first thing is like most of my newest friends come from work,
Mm-hmm.
and usually at my age, hopefully you are in some kind of field that you enjoy enough, right? So there are some similarities. I am in hospitality, and so the people that I meet are in hospitality because they're in the same job. And so there is some kind of like commonality when it comes to like how I feel they treat people, or some like relativity. So I would like, you're in entertainment, so the people that you meet is probably going to be entertainers, or
Mm-hmm.
so. And so which each industry that you in comes a different type of person. Like some entertainers are selfish and like self-centered and want to
Hmm.
be stars and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So like are jealous and stuff like that. I'm not about to just like go on your industry,
Tell me more.
but then also like in hospitality and restaurants, I feel like there are some people who are just like money hungry,
Mm.
are selfish or the backstabbings there because another part of the industry I am, since I'm in management, I am part of that corporate structure and that office life. And so there are people in the office life, just like everywhere else, that are like, oh, try to throw you under the bus to get ahead. So it's like weeding out those people. And having a friend at work is cool because there's a such thing as like a work best friend. And when you're done with that job, it could be like,
right,
like I'll check on you on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the media thing,
social media is later,
at the time, right? And that's fine. I know you've done stuff like that. People check in on you all the time that you were cool with, because and people check in on me. But there are things that, like, I do have requirements, and I already set like rules when it comes to certain things. Like I can't get in arguments with my friends.
You can't get in arguments with your friends.
Yes, I don't get in arguments with my friends. I don't think there's any situation where me and my friends have a big disagreement.
I think I've heard you say that before about
Platonic.
your women friends,
Yeah.
but not about all friends in general. So men included, you not getting into big arguments with them. Y'all can disagree about this, that, or the other,
like,
but you're
if
not
we're
getting into big
disagreeing, like,
arguments.
okay, who do you like, LeBron or Kobe? That's like, that's not real. That's like, okay,
Yes,
but it's not. But it's not like I disagree with, like, oh yeah, we should, I don't know, whatever. I can't even fathom a topic where
You can't think of anything.
Yeah, where we're just
not
like,
at this age.
yeah,
I
going
feel
at
like
it.
not at this age. I have gotten into arguments with, not an argument, but like I have gotten emotional and been like, you hurt my feelings. I have said those things to my friends, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll apologize or whomever, and we'll move on from that. But yeah, not an argument, I would say.
Yeah, getting my feelings, and also getting my feelings hurt. I am very open when it comes to things. So like, if somebody did offend me, my first thing is to come up to them and say, like, hey, what was up with that? Try to get their like, because I know that they're not coming from a malicious place. I don't pick malicious people. So there's a trust factor that comes into like picking your friends, and it's just like knowing what vibe you give. And that's how I pick, like, yeah, my latest friends were from work. And I think like my latest friends, I would say, is David.
Okay.
And I met him at work, and like we just kept in contact. We hung out a couple times. And he's just like a genuinely good person. So I think that's pretty dope. And when you're at work, you can kind of tell, because I've seen stories. I've heard, like, I remember when I was living in Philly and I was being a security guard, and it will be like this one guy, he was a security guard, and we were on shift together, and he was watching some very graphic things on shift on his phone. Like, I'm not about to be cool with you if you're doing that at work, right? This other guy was talking about how he was cheating on his wife. Like, things that I'm like, oh, okay, at work, people are just saying stuff to pass the time, but we listen and we do judge, right? So I'm like, no, I'm not about to share more information. I'm not about to share more information and get close to you, because I'm like, I won't align.
We actually, we don't align.
Yeah, you could do your job. You could do your job. I could do my job, and we could be cool. And I don't have to make your life harder by working here. But outside of work, we would. But then, like, I meet somebody I have common interests with, and all stuff like that. And that's how. And another way to make good friends is, I guess, like the recommendation part. It's like when your good friend introduces you to another good friend.
Right.
Uh,
So you know that they're probably good because
yeah,
your
you
good
gotta,
friend is
yeah.
cool with them.
So those are mine. I feel like I have a lot of friends, and so
That's good.
when I find somebody like more, I'm like, I'm very like work friend, friend type of thing.
Mm.
So I mean that's how I choose them. What about you, Mama?
I how do I choose my friends? I do the same thing as you. I mean, if we have things in common and if it's easy, if we're not doing small talk, if we connect in a different way, if you're understanding. I think also though, like at this point in my life, I I need the most understanding of people. And I saw something the other day that was like, oh no, like you have to make time for people and relationships and put in the work. All relationships take work, and I
Mm-hmm.
get that. Um, however, and I still need grace and understanding that I might not have time right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I do understand the saying, you make time for what you want to do.
Yeah.
You make time for what you want to do, sort of thing. Yes, absolutely. And there's also a priority list. So our children, our youngest is 1. There's a priority list. They need us exponentially daily all the time right now. So there will be a shift. And I've said this before about, when I was going through hard times, I'll come back around. And if you're still there, if that friend is still there, then you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
we'll pick up and hopefully, what I miss or what have you. But I only have, but like I go back to time. I only have so much time financially too. Our financial obligations have increased. And so like today I was thinking, oh man, I really wanted to pick up flowers. I really wanted to pick up flowers. I really wanted to pick up a treat for a friend. I said the word friend, see, for a coworker that I have known for a very long time, for as long as, longer as we've been married. And I'm like, yeah, I really want to do this. But financially, it's not in my budget. And if
Mm-hmm.
a friend is like, well, they didn't give me anything for my birthday, again, I need understanding people. So how I choose my friends is, obviously compatibility, like if we are on the same page, but then also it's like I'm understanding with you, you're understanding with me, and we kind of just get each other. You know what I mean?
Got it.
Like I like that. I like when it's like we get each other and you won't make me feel bad for some things. So I think that's where I am right now. Who would you call like this is my friend? And you wouldn't introduce them to the family as any other title, like to your kids. This is still a Mr. and Mrs. Or do we, because I didn't grow up in the era where you introduce your friends as auntie. This is still Mr.
No,
somebody.
no. Don't say in the era. You just didn't grow up that way.
Okay, I didn't grow up in the time. In my household,
Yeah, name your
auntie,
household.
in my household, your auntie and uncle was actually your auntie and your uncle. They was blood. It wasn't like your mom's best friend. So.
And I grew up, my cousins were my parents, parents first, like their best friends children. Those
right.
are my cousins.
Those are your cousins. Yeah, because then you call their best friend. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Their auntie. No, we don't do that. But
we do it.
No, we don't do it.
Yes, we do.
I don't do that.
You just admitted that her name is Auntie Ebony.
Auntie Ebony is family.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's family now, but she's not my best friend. See, she's not my friend, my coworker.
You sound crazy right now.
No, I don't. Okay.
You just said that you don't do it.
Here's Miss Sydney. Miss Sydney, I'm giving you an example.
Okay.
Miss Sydney, I would qualify as my friend.
Yes.
Miss Sydney has watched our children.
Yes.
She loves me. I love her. Miss Sydney threw me the baby shower at work. I love Miss Sydney.
Yes.
They're not gonna call her Auntie Sydney.
Okay.
Example. Case in point.
Case in point.
Boom. What you got?
I have Auntie Ebony.
Auntie Ebony is family.
She's only family because she was a friend.
She was a friend. That's what I just said 8 years ago. She's family. She's family since we done had the kids. She's been family. She always been Auntie Ebony. She's never been Miss Ebony, and then we started saying, "Oh, no, Auntie Ebony now."
But I guess since she was my friend first, my friends get called Auntie and Uncle.
That's interesting because I would call Miss Charlotte Miss Charlotte. You call her Tata Charlotte, which I think that is, since it's another language, it's like, okay, this is a pool of something.
Yeah, because you also do Pia.
Again, Tita. Again, another language. That's not the same. I'm not calling her Auntie.
Okay. Auntie in a different language, still Auntie.
Okay.
So my question for you is, what characteristics do you need to be a good friend? So we're talking to action trying to live. We got to remember that, right? We're talking to action, and they're 30 years old, they're 37 years old, and you're like, yo, this is what you need to be a good friend. I feel like I am an excellent friend. I feel like you are an excellent friend.
Yeah.
And so, and I also feel like my friends are excellent. And so what are the characteristics that you would be like, okay, these 3 things is absolutely essential to a friendship. And if you're a good friend, you have this quality.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just do 3 things. Let's do, because 3 is the number. The top, as I'm saying, is going to be understanding. It's just the understanding factor for me. I have to get it. We understand each other. We listen to each other. What?
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the thing.
We listen. We don't judge. No, understanding, kindness. I just think. Also, because like you said, I do think that I'm a good friend. I try hard to be a good friend because I'm like, man, I there was a time period where I was like, I saw all of the friends in your life. I was like, man, I need more friends. I need some friends too. I want some friends. And I have friends in the moment, but then when I would leave a location, like if it's based just solely on proximity, then is it really friendship, or was it like obviously friends in the moment?
Yeah.
Right, convenience. So I'm like, I want this long-lasting friends. And truthfully, like, your friends have then become my friends, and more of my friends. I'm calling them more of my friends. Like Kirsten's more of my friends. Yes, the girls are now more of my friends. And I wanted that. I was like, I want girlfriends. And we've talked about this before, but they're kind and they are understanding. And if I could think of a third quality, I guess just love. Like, they love me and I love them.
Gotcha.
And that's really hard to, like, genuine. It's not that fake facade, like, we have to have a good time. We have to go drinking. We have to, like, all of that. We don't have to do anything. We could just chill and be together.
Yeah.
Because I'm a good time without...
You sure are.
Without spending money. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, if we can have a good time without spending money, then we good.
Yeah. The second part of that question is, what do you bring? Like,
I bring that.
You bring the same thing. Okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
I do. And everybody needs something different. Somebody said, like, if I hang out with you and we don't laugh till we cry, we ain't hanging out again, or something like that. And I'm like, that might not be me.
Yeah, you're not the funniest.
I am so funny. How dare you?
You're not listening. I say you're not the funniest.
I'm not the funniest. unless we going to see a movie necessarily, we're not gonna laugh till we cry.
We don't even have the same sense of humor.
No, we don't.
I was watching the TV show and you're like, I think that's stupid.
That
and
TV
I'm
show
laughing so
you're
hard.
crying. You're cracking up in the kitchen. And I watched 2 episodes of this show and I was like, it's not.
Oh man. Yeah.
What's that, Detroit or something?
Detroiters, yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's not a good show. Okay, but no, I think that for me, the qualification, which is why it's like, this is what I'm seeking. I give you that. I am so loving.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever love language, all 5 of the love languages, I'm very loving to my friends. I care. I give that kindness, and I'm understanding. And I'm like, people are like, oh, low maintenance friends. It's like low maintenance, and I check it. Like, I give you those things. And I think that that's why, like, the loyalty that I have in my friends, that's like, ain't nobody talking about me behind my back. They got my back. They like all of those things.
Yeah, you do be having rules like, don't talk about me to other people.
Don't talk about me. Make sure nobody else is talking about me, because I went through some things.
But it's also the industry that you were in.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I remember when we were younger, and now that you're older, it's a little bit different. But the thing about you is, like, you said it. You was like, I'm in dance where my closest friends are my closest competition.
Yep.
And so if we're all trying to be prima ballerina, then we're all gunning for this one spot, these 2 spots. Yeah. So even like being black on Broadway, if it's not a black Broadway show, then there's probably one.
There's one spot.
There's one.
There's one black dancer in Wicked.
Yeah, one black female dancer,
yes.
one black male dancer.
Yes.
So,
which is probably why I'm friends with men, because
probably,
the women,
because the women dancers is kind of like, we're competition. Is
yeah.
And so I find that very interesting. For me, the biggest thing, and since we're talking, this is letters to our children.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing at 37 years old, when it comes to friendship, is, do they show up? If your friends, my friends, consistently show up when we need them. They could be anywhere in the world. And the same thing about them showing up, I show up.
You show up.
We will make it happen. If it's when you're in need, when it's nitty gritty, who is showing up?
That's the root.
Yeah.
That's the root. Who is, and it doesn't even have to be physical, because we do understand that sometimes you can't physically be there. Mm-hmm. But just like I'm gonna get there, or I'm gonna send somebody to get there, or I'm gonna send something. It's absolutely across the board.
And the fact that they know, I have a friend going through something like some marriage stuff going on around right now. And that's the thing. At this age, you're going to get situations. You're going to get these life situations where you have a friend that might be infertile and they want kids. You might have a friend who had a death in the family, like their parent might have died recently. And there's just situations. One might have like a special needs child that needs like medical attention, and they need to figure out if they need to quit their job and be a full-time. It's like all these life situations are happening, and that, I feel like, goes with you saying being understanding as a friend. Or am I understanding to be like, they're going through something? It ain't about me right now. I don't need you to be like, oh, it was my birthday.
Hi. And you didn't get me anything. We're going to Mexico. Are you not?
How come you can't do that? So like that understanding is really key. So I'm gonna take that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a better word for showing up or being clutch.
Yeah, man.
But that's what my friends are. My friends are so clutch. I trust them, and they are constant. Even though I'm not with them, I know without a shadow of a doubt they'll show up. So that's the second one. I don't know what that's called because, like you said,
Showing upness.
showing up isn't just you coming to see me and us hanging out. Showing up uh, just might be like, all right, let me send a card, let me call you, let me check in on Lindsey for you, or something like that. Like these little things are really helpful. And then the third thing is just like my friends, I guess like they are positive. My friends don't tear me down. Never. And in fact, the people that I used to not really hang out, but I used to continue to communicate with some people that every time I talked to them, it was like a negative thing. And it might be something slight like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this podcast. And it was like, oh well, why would you do that? Or something like that. Just my friends root for me. They're cheerleaders.
Right.
And I'm their cheerleader. You want to start a business? I'm gonna cheer for you. That is
true. I'll be on the market. I'll be like, dude, that you in business class, girl. Yeah, like, yes,
exactly.
Yes.
So I would say the understanding part, the showing up part, and being a cheerleader. They subscribe to this podcast. Some of our friends don't have kids and they not married, and they subscribe to the podcast. Or they'll tell somebody about the podcast.
Yeah.
Like when we see something going on, we're cheering, we're helping out, we're looking out. They're part of the network that we have, and I do the same thing. It is very much it's very much, what's it called, reciprocal.
Yes.
So the golden rule: treat others as you will treat yourself. I'm giving out the same thing. They know for a fact that Aaron shows up every time, right? When it's time to show up, it's time to show up. I might talk to you because this is a thing about. I know I'm saying show up a lot. The thing is, and we're gonna have another episode about this: action, shine, and live. So be ready. Life be lifing.
What?
What?
What are you talking about? Show up, life be lifing.
We're gonna have an episode about like, hey, life.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I get.
Okay, now you're getting it.
Yes, I do.
And
yes,
for us, life hit.
It's unexpected. It's always unexpected.
Oh yeah.
Because the reality is that nobody plans to grow up like and have something happen. They're not like, oh my gosh, I'm about to be hit with this financial burden, or this, my mom did this, or something is going to shift, and then you're like, oh, the bubble has been popped, and you're no longer in this cozy place of whenever it might hit. Because sometimes people are like, oh, my teens, oh, my 20s, and then whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so that is true. And then those friends will reveal themselves. Like, truthfully, and that's why when you were talking about aunties and uncles, I have a friend and we call him Uncle Leroy. The kids call him Uncle Leroy, and he is not a blood uncle. He's not my brother.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, but I remember, and we'll talk about it during the episodes or what have you, but he showed up in a way that I didn't know he was capable of, in a way that I thought who I was calling friend and those people I did call friends were unable to. And it was like, oh, he was put in, now I can put him in a closer category. Now I can move him a little closer and trust him a little bit more with my heart, because those people will show up, like you said, will show up during times of need, and then you're like, okay.
And he possesses all three of those categories.
He absolutely
like he is a cheerleader.
He is.
He's a cheerleader.
You can say, yeah, that's a good friend.
And
that's it. And this is so funny because when you were talking about like the difference, cheerleader and positivity, like, we're not saying that you can't listen to a friend who's going through something while you're actually not going through something.
Yeah.
Because there will be times, and I remember reading this in Ecclesiastes, it's like, cry with those who are crying, or mourn with those who mourn, and joyous with and during the happy times. So like, having this connection. Um, and so there will be times when, and I don't remember when I was going through something, that person is probably, Leroy was probably not going through something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was probably having, a birthday party or something else, but he was able to enter into my world and my space and cry with me. And then,
100%.
you know what I mean? And then, and allow me to have those moments, and then come to the other side and we be having, and now we're having fun, and now we're having a good time, and that sort of thing. So that's what I mean about like, showing up, and you're like being positive, but also being understanding. That's what I'm talking about. We can connect them though, and make them a top 5, because we said the same thing for the first one, which was understanding.
Understanding, yes.
The understanding, the showing upness.
That's mine.
That's yours. The kindness.
Yes.
That was mine.
Yours is love.
And mine, the love. And then the positivity, not tearing you down. And that's so important. When I think about Action's birthday party, he's young and he's still finding his way. And when you're 6, 7, 8, what have you, you don't understand if someone is kind of not teasing.
That's on us though.
What do you mean?
Okay, so I didn't want to go to a separate topic.
Okay, talk about it. He's learning. It's
a task. I feel like it is a task. I'm not even going to pose it as a question. I feel like it is a task as parents. Now I'm talking to Action, Shine, and Live as parents. It is our jobs to steer you all the way from the people that we do not deem worthy of your friendship.
That's a hard one, babe.
Until you turn 18, 19. But even for me,
you can't. I have seen
because
you can't choose my friends.
I do understand that. But let me tell you, there's a scripture that says, "Bad company corrupts good behavior,
and a little leaven spoils the whole loaf." I say that all the time because it does. It can come in.
Exactly. So, and we as parents know this person's not good.
This ain't the one. But I feel like you have to tell them in a way, because the way that I want it to be like, don't you ever talk to this boy again. Don't you ever.
Exactly.
Don't talk to him. Don't hang out with him. We ain't going to.
It's our responsibility. I feel like it is our responsibility as parents. I feel like our children, when you have children, it is your responsibility. You need to know who your friends are. One of the stories that your mom, I tell people, remember the first time I took you out on a date?
Yes.
And she got my license and she wrote down all the information.
Right here, yep.
And stuff like that. And like your mom knew my dad, and she knew my parents. Which is interesting because they didn't know about my grandmother until later.
Yes. But that's you're talking about dating.
No, I'm talking about friendship. You need to know. That's why I said the first friends are your siblings, and then it goes like cousins and stuff like that, because you know their parents and stuff like that.
Yes.
But the kids at school, you need to know.
That's what I said. We don't know them, and it's really hard to steer them in the right direction without blatantly saying you can no longer hang out with this person. Because Action, as an honest being that he is, he would then go to this person and say, like, my mom and dad said, I can't hang out with you anymore.
Okay, it was a kid named Richard Price. I still remember his name.
I know.
His name was Richard Price. He was Jehovah's Witness. At what age? It had to be first grade. He came up to me and was like, we cannot be friends no more.
Yep. You said because his mom said you.
No, it was because like he was Jehovah's Witness and I was Christian or something like
Okay.
that. But we cannot be friends no more. And guess what? I grew up and I'm fine and I'm happily married and
Yet
stuff
you
like that.
remembered him.
I remember him.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm fine.
Yeah.
So like she was doing what she felt needed to be done. I'm fine with action going up or shining or live like my mom said I can't hang with you no more.
Really?
Period.
Really? Okay. I mean, I think that it's a temperament that should be handled softly because we don't want it to come off as bullying. And not bullying, but like and imagine, because Action is a Black boy that goes to a majority white school. White school.
Uh-huh.
And so if someone were to come up to Action and say that, and he got his feelings hurt and he came back home, what? We'd be like, what? Why? Who said it? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And then of
You
course,
would be like that.
and then of course we would say, like, if they don't want to be, this is what I tell them, if they don't want to be your friends, they missing out. Because you actually Major Jackson, you know, and of course we gonna boost up our friend, our baby, and everything like that. And I've told them not on the playground. It's like they didn't want to. We don't want to hang out with them. You know,
Yeah.
we go there, but still, I don't want to hurt another child's feelings. I also am protecting my child when I say, you know what, that person was not that kind to you. You know what I mean? That person is not nice.
I see what you're saying.
And so we don't need to be friends with these people anymore.
Oh no, I would because at the end of the day, you know when Black people say at the end of the day, you need to not be friends with this person.
I know.
So no matter how I cut it, guess what? Their parents, they gonna go down. They gonna go to their parents and be like, I just said we can't be friends.
And they gonna come back to us.
And if their parents come to us, I will give them the reason.
The audacity. You would? Because you just told me recently, oh, well, so-and-so is a foreigner and he don't know no better.
I understand that.
And you would tell the mom, we still can't be friends.
Yeah.
If I see him around my son again.
No, it's just like, I mean, I'm not doing it for no reason.
Yeah, man. Nah, I know.
And so if I'm not doing it for any old reason, if I'm not doing it for discriminatory reasons and stuff like that.
Yes.
I'm like, your child has displayed this. I saw him hitting this. I saw him not talking to Action like this. I saw him talking to a girl like this. Right. So if he starts working out and stuff like that, blah 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 blah, fix him. Guess what? Action gonna be where it is. Shine gonna be where he is. Liv gonna be where she is.
Yeah.
And also, I want to already establish that. So when they do get into the teenage rebellion years, right? They already know the characteristics of a friend that they should be working with. And I'm telling them when they become parents, they got to be on top of it. You need to know who your children's friends are. And if they have parents, what their parents are like. Right?
Yeah.
Who's their guardian? Are they a foster kid? Do they go to church? Are they Muslim? Do they have a religion? Like, these are the things that I feel like people think is old school. And now they're like, oh, be accepting of everybody. And no, some things it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't eat at everybody's house and you can't spend the night at everybody's house.
That ain't even happening no more.
Exactly.
That's not happening no more.
And so there might be a world in the way that it seems like we have to remember there is not a problem with gatekeeping when it comes to no, I'm protecting you from these people.
Oh, that's how you're using it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because gatekeeping is like withholding information that should be shared.
Well, gatekeeping to me is there's a gate that gets you into somewhere and there are people in front that'll be like, hey, no.
Please don't.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like parents need to be more on it. And so we're going to be on it like that. I know for a fact we are.
Oh, well, I have seen and I'm ready. Now I'm like, oh, okay.
And that's the thing about going to these birthday parties, right? where it's like, okay, let me talk to these parents.
This is the only way that we would get to know them because we're not at school with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like one of the people came and you kind of know how your child is, especially at such a young age. We had multiple people come up to us yesterday and tell us how their children talk about our son and how he's kind and stuff like that. And I remember Action in kindergarten, and he would talk about certain kids and be like, they had big emotions today, or so-and-so pushed so-and-so today, or like even Shine.
Yes, very honest. We have very honest and sincere children who actually share with us their days and who they talk with and what they do. So it's nice to see, and it's nice to hear from other parents because their kids are talking to them, and it's like, oh, okay.
And so that's why they wanted to come. Like, I feel like some of the parents came to Action's party to see us.
Yes, to see the family.
To see this boy, like, who is this boy that they keep talking about? How does he act? Right? So I really feel, I don't know what the main point was. I'll probably fix it in editing or something like that. But I feel, as a statement of fact, it might not be as high as 18 because I know how rebellious 15-year-olds are. Like, you say, you can't hang out with this person. They're like, oh, I'm going to sneak out and hang out with them.
I was going to say 15 was a very changing age. I
will say this. I'll say 14. 14.
Okay. Yeah, they just got to high school.
It is our job as parents to be like, okay, we're picking out friends, and also it's not just like us picking it out without letting them know why.
How many friends would you say you had? Because I used to, who was a bishop at church would be like, man, all you need is one good friend. And I thought about it, not the friends into family. I'm not qualifying because your siblings and all the people. It's like yes, our godparents, yes. But like friends, this is my friend. How many friends do you say you have? And I would say maybe 5, like a good 5, one-handed.
That you have?
Yes. What?
What? Okay.
You don't even think I got 5 friends?
I do not think you have 5 friends.
Wow. I do.
I love you. And you are a great friend.
I'm a really good friend.
You just said friends in the family. So you eliminated probably
all the 5 friends? No.
You said no godparents.
No godparents.
No, nobody that I call uncle.
Okay, wait. Okay, you're right. All of my friends are my family now.
Because when you're at this age.
So then 2. I have a good 2 friends that are not family.
When you're at this age, my children, your friends become family.
Yeah, man. And then there's coworkers.
And so
and then there's coworkers.
That's
it. That's all I'm gonna say.
But friends become family.
Yeah, man.
And so when your mom is like, oh yeah, we don't call people auntie and uncle and da 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 da. Yes, we do. Okay. Oh, she had this thing when she was younger, and she thought it was going to translate.
It's true,
but it doesn't translate for our family.
Okay.
Right here, we are in New York City. We need all the aunties and uncles we can get. Okay. So, how many friends do I have?
Do you have
that's
friends
that are friends
and not family,
and that are not family?
And see. Yeah, that's the other thing. You didn't even ask me before you started calling some people auntie and uncle, but that's a whole nother story. It's fine.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I will see if they're not called auntie and uncle.
They're not called auntie and uncle, and they
are not godparents.
And they're not godparents. Oh, I mean, David.
You don't have to count for me. I'm good. I'm good over here. I would say 4.
Okay.
I would say 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we call Red Auntie Red?
You do, yeah.
All right, so maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
But okay. Well, the poll started off with do you think you need more than a handful of friends? That was the yes or no question. Because I don't think you need more than a handful of friends. I think you could suffice with, like, if they have those top 5 qualities, I'm good. Like, I don't need to be like, oh, I got friends. And as somebody that has a little bit of FOMO from like missing out on certain things and like not being included on certain things, I go back and I'm always like, focus on the love, focus on the people who love you, focus on that. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. I got my friends, I got my people. And so, when we're talking to Action, Shine, and Live, it's like, I don't think you need more than a handful of friends.
As an adult, how many friends do you need? Wait, no, it's a poll, right?
It's a poll. Do you think you need more than a handful of friends? Yes or no? That's the poll.
What's a handful? 5?
5. That's a handful. This is a hand. I mean,
Okay.
What's got a hand?
No, because this is a hand, but a handful. All right, so give me a number.
I get 5.
All right, do you need more than 5 friends?
Yes.
As an adult?
Yes.
All right. So that's the poll.
That's the question, y'all.
We're gonna put the poll out on Instagram. And
yes.
on,
and then yes
Spotify.
or no. Yeah, like tell me why. Tell me why if you want.
Okay.
But answer. I really want to know.
So how would they answer the poll?
Yes. I need more than 5
No,
friends
no,
because I
no,
gotta.
no. Where?
Wait. Oh, I'm like, yes.
poll?
How? We're gonna put it up. We're gonna put it up on Spotify. I'll put it on Instagram as well. And we'll leave it up for the week. Next week, podcast out on Tuesday. Because this is, again, our idea. We're always like, this is our perspective, rather.
Uh-huh.
This is my perspective. What you think? You gonna put up your answer?
I'll tell everybody in next week's episode.
Okay.
When I'm reading out the answer.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in to our love letters to our children. Please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram, First Comes Love, TCM.
You can always check out the YouTube and subscribe, like, share with everybody. That's at First Comes Love.
And you can email us, let's talk at firstcomeslove, then comes marriage.com.
Talk to you Tuesday.